Hello, everyone. Welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo. I am sharing a really powerful integration today about activating your creative power. So, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. This series is a 4-part series. We are on part 4 today of a 4-part series called Into the Light that we've done with releasing the past, welcoming the new, welcoming the true self. We've got to make space for that in order to let something new in. So the 2 sessions we did in December, which you can go back to view them if you have not already, the first 2 weeks of December were that integration to really unpack what you are done with, what is not serving you, and literally release that from your system. And that creates a vacuum. It's a space where the true you can come in, where your abundance, where your nurturance, opportunities, and evolution of your life can come through effortlessly. So this is not manifestation like, oh, I'm going to manifest my life this year and like putting so much energy into something, but rather becoming more receptive. So those first 2 sessions were really essential preparation for what we're doing with these 3 and 4 last week and today with beginning to manifest and create what you're really here to be and get the clarity on what that even is. So welcome to this session on activating your creative power. All of this with the Into the Light series is in preparation for the live workshop we are having. It's a virtual weekend workshop we're doing the weekend of January 20th. You're all invited to join and be a part of that. It will be very, very powerful to truly unleash the true you to begin living in this life. Like you can release the programs, the lineage patterns, the genetic codes, your own personal traumas that are actually still being carried here today, and let your system know how to let them go. And we will do the work in the workshop through the weekend. The link for that, if you would like to register, is at drkimd.com/live. And you will transmute the energy right there in the workshop during the weekend. You will not be the same person on the Monday after we finish. You will be in that activation more fully than ever before. So you're welcome to join me. And thank you everyone for being here. So hello, if you're here live, I'd love to hear where you're joining from, and in the MindBody community in Facebook, in YouTube, and in Instagram as well. Reveille Marie, Re-Evali Marie. I'm not sure how to say the name, but I will be there. That is awesome. I know a lot of people have already joined, so that will be amazing. And for everyone listening to the replay, hello to you as well. So we have JP, always good to have you here. Wisdom Warriors, hello. Mary K. Guy, sending love from Southern California. Jaria from Vancouver, BC. Oh, cool. I signed up for your workshop. I'm so excited. That's awesome. Danielle, I've just been in your MindBody Toolkit book, ABCs. Yes. Awesome. Layla, hello. Jenny from Sweden. Hello, Tina. Noelita, Florida. Chicago. Kelly from Cape Cod. Hello. Danielle, Rachel from the UK. LT from New York. All right, you guys, thank you for being here from all over the world and from Boston. Hello, Kelly. All right. So here we are. So what is activation? Now, you've probably been in a state of activation, and we're just going to kind of identify that now because it's really potent and it can be recreated. It doesn't have to just be random, like, oh, this wonderful thing happened and it felt so great. I was in this heightened state. Or, people talk about the zone when you're doing something you're so into that you're immersed and time stands still or speeds up. But we can actually actively create this. So if you've ever been in a state where there's awe, there's bliss, there's joy, there's a sense of peace, like, wow, life is on my side. Everything is working out for me. It's okay. You may have experienced this just 2%, like a slight easing up from the base level anxiety you usually live in. And you kind of feel like, whoa, this is a little gift. I feel like I've had a little reprise from that. But it feels like it's random, or it feels like it's happenstance. And you're sort of just like waiting for it to happen again, versus knowing, how do I cultivate that? Having the tools, having the path, and being able to move into that flow state rather than just wait for it to happen. That is what we will talk about today. That is an activated state. It is a heightened frequency, and it's more about allowing it and intending it than it is about creating it and making it happen. In fact, when we're in that MIH, make it happen, warrior place, you're repressing that. You're inhibiting that heightened flow state, because there's this layer of trying and this layer of efforting that keeps you from fully being in it. Second thing that keeps us from fully being in it is wanting it to stay. Like if you ever feel like you're in that heightened state and you're like, oh, I hope this doesn't go away, right? So attachment is the second thing. So the more attached you are to it, the more you're pushing it away. So those two things you want to sort of look out for are like trying to get it, efforting, and attachment. And so let's sort of unwind that. If we just drop into the body, which is sort of my first step of settling into awareness, noticing what's here. So you can bring the shoulders up, take a deep breath, and then just let everything go. It's a great first step because you're now carrying less tension than you were a moment ago. And so that it's easier to feel and sense, and you're creating more peace in your physiology. So that first step of just sort of like letting go physically, softening physically, and taking a few deep breaths is sort of the drop in. So you just drop into the body. Hi, body. Here I am. You may now be aware that there's maybe a lot of tension in the body. You may be aware there's a feeling of unease, so that you were in a stance of like, let me attack life, let me get what I need. And that actually isn't serving you. So now there may be a little more awareness of that. You can let that go. Just literally exhale it. Noticing it is the medicine. Okay, so when we do this drop in, we are in a greater activation. Now, the presence of the I am that I am, the universal self, is more here in the body. So the premise of this activation and allowing my life to be created, allowing the highest possibilities to be created, are to realize I am a creative power. And I will live as a victim to that power, the power within myself, until I realize that it is the I am that is creating it. There's something in me that's creating it. So I'll live as a victim until I start to realize that like, wait a minute, everything is a reflection of what's in me. Somewhere, usually subconsciously, unconsciously, this space in me is what's creating my reality. And so we will live as a victim to that until we realize it's within us. And then even in that step, and I talked about this in some of the former broadcasts, we can victimize ourselves by like blaming or making it wrong or defending. Like you're saying, it's my fault I have this disease. And that's actually not where you need to go with it. When we're willing to realize we are the creative power is within me, we can take full responsibility, not in judging what we've created so far, not in making it wrong that I've done it this way, but in just acknowledging the creative power is within me. It comes through me. It's created me. It's created my life. It's created my liver and my kidneys. It is repairing my body even in this moment. And so when I'm in greater allowance of that, it is activated to create my body, heal my body even more fully. So even just that acknowledgement allows more potency. And so in this is a letting go, right? If I didn't have to create my body and my liver and my kidneys, and I don't have to repair it, I can just allow the universal creative source energy to come through me and do that to a higher degree, to come through me and create my life in a more beautiful way. Okay, so that's sort of the first premise, is that I am the creative power. It's within me. The second piece is that my system, this thing that looks like a physical separate body, is the most advanced technology ever to exist. And that's kind of a really big thing to say, but the body, the system that we're in, it's not just a physical thing. We can detect your electromagnetic field up to 8 to 10 feet away from your physical body. Your system is the most advanced technology ever known in all of existence. Your system. And you can gain mastery of this amazing system, this creative system. And so this electromagnetic system, right? Because you are first and foremost pure energy, secondarily manifesting as physical form. This electromagnetic system emanates a field, emanates a signal, emanates a message. It's actually a communication. And what we've seen scientifically is that communication is interacting with everything around you and influencing it. Meaning, like the physical things, you have like a notepad. I have this beautiful journal, pens and pencils. There's stuff, and it looks like it's separate from you, and it looks like it's solid and unchanging. This one has unicorns on it. And the reality that we've seen is that the physical material world is actually responding to your energy, your vibration, your frequency, and your intention. And if I were to intend this, I don't know, these little unicorns to like get off the pencil and fly away, that might be a heightened realm beyond the one I'm participating in. And it would probably just like exhaust me to try to do something like that. So what you have to realize about intentions, it's the new year, great time to recognize your intentions and get conscious about your intentions. Hold on to that intention as long as it feels good to hold on to that intention. If I have the intention to make these little unicorns on the pencil come off the pencil and fly away, it's going to get heavy to hold that, because the realm of reality I'm participating in that doesn't have space for that occurrence. So it's going to get oppressive to keep holding it. I've got to have this. And we go into attachment, we go into forcing, those two things I talked about in the beginning, and that actually exhausts our energy. So stay light. So, there's like beautiful pictures and beautiful colors, and there's a lightness in it. I want to embody that lightness and that joy and that effervescence. And so I can still hold the intention of, why do you want the unicorns to fly? Oh, I want to feel the magic in my life. I want to feel inspiration. So hold it in the way that feels light, right? Because that is what is possible. Always kind of investigate your intentions and like, how does it feel to hold that intention? And sometimes things change and it no longer feels good to hold that intention in its current form. So activation is about staying in the lightness. So whatever your intentions are, pick one really beautiful one and share that here so we can start to play with that. For me, there's a lot of intention around effortless expansion. I know there's a lot of space for expansion in my life into more joy. And so for me, it's more about letting go, being intentional. And there's also a layer for me about devotion, which you could call commitment. You could call, like structure. Every day I'm going to do this thing. And for me, it gets a little rigid to hold it like, I've got to do these 5 things every day. I will just have devotion. I know that having intention around my food, my diet, I'm eating vegetables, I'm nurturing myself, I'm getting my rest, I'm exercising every day, really serves me. And so I'm not holding it rigidly, like I have to do my exercise. holding it gently, but there is devotion. There's devotion to that intention to do those things that I know feed and nurture me. There's a meditation that I do every day, which we will do, and I will bring you into in the live event that we're doing. It's the most potent way of connecting with divine power and source and letting that align you that I found, but it's super simple. And so I'm in devotion. I do that every day. So not like rigid where I beat myself up if I don't do the thing, or attached, oh, I have to do this way. There's fluidity. And so in devotion, we can begin to hold those things and cultivate them, but not have the attachment or the rigid efforting that can keep us in a lower vibration. Okay, so we've got peace and joy, trust and surrender, expanding the lightness moments, devotion to peace, surrendering and trusting that things will unfold for me. Yeah, letting go, Rachel, of trying to control and instead trusting the unknown. Yeah, and these are all about receivership. If my natural state is joy, then letting go, surrender, being a better receiver, being more soft instead of like in the tension of my agenda, being more soft lets me receive more of that natural state, that heightened state. And these are all actually really high frequency. Like sometimes we'll have intentions that come from that underlying intention to have more joy and lightness. And then we think that will come if I make more money, or that will come if I change my business. So then we make an intention around that secondary thing. A lot of people in this community more and more are percolating in the higher awareness. So it's right there. Oh, my intention is the lightness. But if you do have the intention that's like, I want to build my business, I want to take an amazing vacation, I want to make my house more beautiful, go into what lies under that, the peace, the ease, the beauty, the freedom of like a trip, or the beauty of being in your beautiful home, because that is more close to the essence of what's coming in. And it is coming in. If you have that intention, the pure essence that is underneath it is already here for you. It's whispering to you. You wouldn't have that intention or feel that desire if it weren't. So you're tapping into something that is in your field. Okay, so remember, your system is an electromagnetic field. You are sending out a signal, and that signal interacts with the physical material reality and has it show up a certain way. It either shows up as like a closed door that won't open no matter what you do, or it shows up as, green light after green light after green light. Wow, the path is opening for me. And that experience, that journey is going to depend on your inner frequency. Sometimes the closed door is guiding you to the other direction where there's an open door, where there's more abundance. And so it's leading you. So don't make it wrong what's showing up. Okay, stay connected to God's presence in every cell. God code, beautiful. Freedom, peace, softness, receptivity, opening to the flow, opening to magic and light. Beautiful. Focus on the clarity and what I want and the courage to see or feel it through. Awesome. This is always such a community of highly sensitive, energetically sensitive beings. So it's not surprising that that's your awareness of what the intentions are. It's very clear and clean and pure. So this is awesome. I release my emotions from the jail I have them in. Go with the flow of life. Okay, great. So as we intend to become more free this year, because the theme of this year is freedom and sovereignty. Sovereignty is ultimate creatorship. Not that I am the small self, I am God. It's not. That's not what we're saying. It's that I am in unity with that oneness that you could call God or universal creator or spirit or source or divine consciousness or whatever you would like to call it. I don't mind. But that you are already in partnership with that space. You are already in connection with that consciousness. And so Can you let that in and let that come through you? Because then that is what comes through me, activates my system, emanates from my system, guides my words and my actions, and allows my reality to show up in a much higher alignment. Okay, so as I've shared before, the key is to uh, align, as we talked about last week, with the frequency of those intentions. Intend to become free this year. So, what does that feel like? If you were to receive that now, because you can only create what you have embodied, if you were to receive that, what would that feel like? And then let your body enter into that feeling right now. And this kind of takes a pause. It requires a pause, because if I'm engaged in the stuff I'm already in, then I'm intending to be more free. Sometimes I've got to pause from putting my attention into where, what I'm currently in, right? The thoughts and the ideas and the beliefs and the programs, and sort of cultivate something else. Okay. So that activates your cells, your DNA, your electromagnetics to send a new signal. And so if you just take a moment in that pause, here we'll do it with withdrawing the senses, closing the eyes, getting present in the body and breathing, and then letting the body enter into that field right now. Freedom, power, joy, ease. It's okay. If I completely forgive myself, what would that feel like? Right? I'm not holding myself hostage anymore. Or, like someone said, holding my emotions in jail. I'm letting the pure expression come out. There is nothing wrong with expressing emotions. It's holding them in that is so toxic and damaging. And then they get expressed in a really thwarted way. We think, no, I am feeling anger. I've been feeling this anger for 20 years, but you've actually been repressing the anger, restraining the anger for 20 years. Very, very different thing. So what would it be if I were in total allowance of myself, of all that is here to be expressed? So close your eyes and breathe and let your cells begin to embody that. What would it be like if I were in total allowance of myself, if I were totally supported and nurtured? What would it be like to feel totally free, loved, let go of the outer circumstances that say, but I'm not, or whatever they say? You have to embody it before you can let it manifest. What would it be like? What would it feel like? Am I willing to feel that? Sometimes what's in front of that embodiment is to first allow the expression of anger, of fear, of powerlessness. Like sometimes that is the most self-honoring move in letting yourself be free and feel free, is I'm free to just feel the powerlessness that I feel. I'm free to just feel the totally pissed off that I feel. Let yourself have that. It will make space. Enter into a new reality. Yes. And that's what we're doing right now. And so cultivate that within you first. Connect with the highest beyond everything that's ever been created. Wipe the chalkboard of everything you think you are. Blow away the chalk dust. Connect with the pure essence of universal consciousness, or pure light, or whatever you want to point to it as. What would it be like if I were in unity with the all that is? What would it be like if I were unconditionally loved? Good. Let your cellular feel and receive that. Activation is about being a great receiver, or even just being a 2% better receiver than you were a moment ago. Soften your body. Let in a few breaths. Let it go. Take your time. If it feels good to just sit in this, just sit in this. Activation is more about receivership and letting your system return to the lightness and higher vibe of joy and freedom than it is about trying to create it. Open. And you can also intend, show me, right? From the divine I am that I am, beyond everything I've imagined, beyond everything that's been created. Show me what joy is. Show me what freedom feels like. And let it fill you, let it source you, let it bring that sensation to you. It doesn't come from you, it comes through you. None of it comes from you. Nothing of true value comes from you. It can only come through you. But you, the small self that you think you are, can just surrender. That's the one wise choice the small self can make. I surrender to the higher self. I surrender to let something higher come through than what I, the small self, would do or create or even intend. So with this activation, it's really allowing that highest, beyond what I could even conceive of, beyond everything that's created, to come through me, to feed my cells, nurture my cells, heal my cells, to inform me. There will be ideas, there will be inspiration, to bring the energy of the action, to bring the inspiration that puts me into action. So then my doing isn't small self busy doing, it's higher self creation. So have a last few deep breaths. We're just doing a touch in here. We will do much deeper work in the workshop if it resonates with you to be a part of that. And I will put the link here. It's at drkimd.com/live. It would feel like grace. Yes. I feel this happening. It feels amazing and free. I feel my whole body energizing and vibrating. Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Heidi. And so then what gets created is a reflection of that. But it's not a matter of like just holding it for 10 seconds and then like going back into your usual vibrational frequency, your regular consciousness. It's a matter of visiting it again and again, intending it little by little, connecting with it more and more and more. That's the devotion. That's the commitment. That's the practice. So whether you do like a 10-minute a day intentional presencing, like I've been doing lately, or you set your alarm on your phone to remind you, right? Connect with the higher self. Let go, Kim. You make it a practice that happens throughout the day as you're doing your day. So it's not like separate. I'm going to do this thing, and then I'm just going to get back to the nitty gritty, which would not be unhelpful. And even if it's only 10 minutes, it will change your regularly scheduled life. But it's even more potent to do this in a way that you can bring with you. You're in a conversation with your child, but part of you stays in awareness of what's happening within you. Or you're doing a presentation, but you check in before, right? You're like, here I am, body. Let's make it great. Let's share our heart. So you stay checked in as you're living your life. That's an even more potent way to do it. And so someone said living in a new reality. So this is what I wanted to share about that new reality, or people call it the new world, the new earth. It's just the higher frequency that we are stepping into. And you can see that there are systems that aren't really serving our expansion, and those systems are falling away. Like people will say, oh my gosh, I'm leaving this job, or my accountant a couple of years ago just literally quit. She's like, I'm retiring from accounting. I don't even know why. I'm going to start something new and just jump ship. She's like, I'm developing an autoimmune disease. I know this isn't serving me. I don't really know why, but I know I can't do this anymore. And she created something totally different in her life. And so Sometimes we're ahead of the curve. We're ahead of the new structures coming in that will support these new things, but it's okay. You're in your timeline. Make the change in your timeline, even though it doesn't seem like there's a system there to hold, for you to operate in. And so one of the things I wanted to share is that the reality that we see, we think that what we see is reality. We think that what we hear is reality. We think that what we perceive with our five senses is the reality, and this is the way it is, so I have to do this. And the truth is, what we see isn't actually real. And we could get very metaphysical about this with, how information gets interpreted in the brain, and how like the eyes will like take little pieces from a picture and put it together into something we already understand. And then we make an assumption subconsciously, not even realizing we're making an assumption. And that wasn't what was actually in the picture. But on a different level, what we're being shown about the world, about what's happening, isn't the real clear representation of what's actually happening. So if we instead tune into sense, this will be closer to the actual reality. So sometimes I will just sense and feel my body, feel the space beyond my body. You can do this with me now. Feel the space and frequency of the town I'm in. Expanding out. Feel the space and frequency of the country I'm in. And expand all the way out and feel the space and frequency of the planet, the space and consciousness of the planet. And sometimes I'll have an awareness that is so beautiful and heightened, and feel the awareness of, oh my gosh, so much is moving and shifting right now. So much. From my knowing, I'm in my right timing. From my knowing, things are happening for me. From my knowing, everything is expanding in the most incredible ways, so that there are structures being created. There are systems being created. There are collaborations already coming into form with people I haven't met yet. There are people awakening who will meet me in a collaboration of something we'll do together. And I may not know them yet. I may not have a physical connection with them yet, but we can create in preparation for that. A great example of this is when I created the Be the Medicine program, which is sort of the next step from the Embracing Health program. You're integrating this work, or, you don't have to go through the Embracing Health program, but you're integrating this work. You are evolving in your health. You're expanding in your vitality. And then there are things that happen. You're living in a new dimension, and it automatically creates it that you want to live your life in a new way. You want to be doing different work. You want to do your relationships in a new alignment. You want to create this and share it with others, and be a light worker in some way, and be an embodiment of that. And so in the Be the Medicine, I'm working with people in a smaller group, more, in an intimate setting. But I created that years ago. And I created that not knowing if anyone would really get it, not knowing if anyone was even looking for this, not knowing anyone who I could really explain this to. And I remember I explained it, something I was doing to my friend Jeff one time, who's like pretty incredible creator. And he just was like deer in headlights. He's like, Kim, I don't think anybody's going to know what you're talking about. I don't get it. And I just automatically wrote down on my paper, because I felt the greatest sense of contraction, like, oh crap, what the F am I doing? I'm living in La La Land. Get real, Kim. Like, this makes no sense. And all of a sudden my hand went to the paper and wrote down, Kim, he is not your avatar. Like, he is not your representation. He is not your the receiver for this. He's not the person who's receiving this. Don't worry. He is not in your realm. And I immediately felt peace. And it was like, it's okay if Jeff doesn't get it. It's okay if he looks at me like I have three eyes. It doesn't matter, because he's not my guy. And it was within a very short time that I did interact with people who, this was exactly what they needed. This is exactly what they were praying for. This is exactly what they were searching for. And that program has grown exponentially since then. So don't worry if what you're intending and what you're creating is like ahead of the curve. when you feel into what you sense, you will feel it. You will feel it. When you look into what you see, it's like, oh no, this will never work. What am I thinking? Tune into what you sense. It is more real. It is more close to the actual truth than what you see or what you hear. You tune into the media, and I'm not going to get on a soapbox about that, but most media sources are in a very low vibrational frequency. They are not created to bring you source truth and personal expansion, right? They're created to like sensationalize and make money off of fear. And you don't have to make that wrong, right? If we engage in fear, just tell me what to do, I'll give you all my money, I'll do anything, then they're going to feed off of that. They're going to just monopolize on where we're participating. So you don't need to like demonize that or become a victim, but that's the reality, is that's the functioning consciousness where almost all media systems are right now. So if you look to that for a sense of like, am I doing the right thing in my life? Is this going to work? You're going to be like really contracted if you think that's the reality. So let the true sense of reality be more from your sensing and less from your seeing, more from like the deeper sense, like the sixth sense, and less from the five senses, because that is going to lead you to greater truth. There are sensory receptors in the pineal gland, which is the third eye. It's like you go right behind the eyes and in the middle and a little tiny bit higher, it sits right there, right behind the spot on your forehead. And like the, optic eyes that are, you can see them, they're not inside the skull. This also has rods and cones on the back, just like we have rods and cones in the regular eyes as receptors for light. We have rods and cones in your third eye, in that pineal gland, that will sense energy, information, and light. Not the same kind of light you see with your regular eyes. It's a deeper light. But in many ways, that's a deeper truth that you can perceive through your third eye. So great little practice to just let your, third eye open. It's just intention. You could just kind of open it up. I'm going to intend that I open my third eye, that I begin to see with the eye of truth and soften around what I think is true that I'm seeing with my regular eyes. Sometimes we have to let go of what we're holding as true in order to allow ourselves to perceive a higher truth. This is another thing we'll be doing deeply in the workshop, is releasing those layers of protection. The way we are seeing reality is a protection, right? Well, I know I got to fend for myself, and I know this is this, so I got to be that. And you have a lot of things you think that you think are true, and then you manage yourself accordingly. But what if none of those things are true? What if they're just going to keep you contracted and limited, and you could be a whole lot freer and create from truth? Yes, these lives are always saved, and you can watch them in the MindBody community in Facebook or on replay in YouTube, on my channel on YouTube as well. Okay, we got more comments here. Yes, when I found you, I didn't really get what you were saying, but I just knew you were right. Very well said. Sometimes we tune into something that we're just on the cusp of being able to comprehend. But if you just keep receiving and you soften your body, the clarity will come in and it will click. It doesn't matter if he doesn't get me. He's not my guy. It can be applied in all aspects of life. Absolutely. And many, because like there really weren't a lot of people who would be able to hear what I'm saying. And so I had to let it not matter that there aren't millions of people following my channel, and not matter that maybe I don't talk to like just everybody and anybody about this, or not matter that maybe some people think I'm batshit crazy, and it doesn't have any influence in my system because I don't give any power to that quote reality. That's not my reality. So it's okay. So it does set you free when you let go of what you see as real and tune into what you know as true. So I love checking in with my body now. Awesome. My smallest self just gently folded into my higher self. So lovely. Thank you. Since you spoke on Kyle's cease about checking in with the body, I do it throughout the day. These check-ins. Yeah. So that's an easy thing. Thank you, Wisdom Warriors. That's an easy thing to do, is just start really gently. Hi, body. How are you? And it's, for some people, it's like, what, am I talk to my body? And if you see yourself and your body as separate things and you're like talking to your body, that's just weird. But if you see yourself in relationship with your body, it's not weird at all. It's actually weird to just like not drop in and not acknowledge and not connect. So, this is your spaceship. You are in this manifestation machine, the technology of your body. How can you be in a deeper relationship with it and in a more loving, connected communication with it? That's really the key to activation and the key to allowing unthinkable things to manifest. I would finish my broadcast today by saying that the things that we have access to now, to allow to manifest, like if you think of, your system is a transmitter and information is coming through and being projected onto the movie screen of your life, the information, the intelligence that can come in and the things that can begin to manifest are truly unthinkable. So sky is the limit. And sometimes we have an intention for, like, many years back, I had an intention. I work as much or as little as I want, doing what I love to do and am best at. And in the system I was functioning in, which was like the ER, as an ER doctor, it was like, what the F are you thinking? Like, you can't have that. That doesn't work. That's a la la land. That's a unicorn and rainbows, Kim. Let that go. But I didn't. I held it. I cultivated it. I knew there was a truth in it. And now that is how my life shows up. If I, let's say, there's a few things that come up. Sometimes you're really exhausted and you're like, I don't feel like doing that today. Let me take it easy. Like, I either can rearrange some things on my schedule, or most often how it shows up for me is someone will call and cancel, or, oh, I don't even have anything on my schedule. That's synchronous. That's a wonderful synchronicity, because I really feel like taking it easy today. Things are being created in a fluidity that has things show up very smooth. It's not overloaded. And so when we're in partnership with life, that's how it can show up, is like it falls away for you. You don't even have to rearrange it sometimes. And I'm doing what I love to do and am best at, which is also something that felt, in a way, on some level, like a pipe dream. Like, no, you got to work, you got to engage, you got to push hard, you got to do the work. And that is not what's actually true. So it isn't that I'm not expanding and I'm not in a commitment to get out of my comfort zone, but there is a flow where what I love to do and am designed for is actually contributing to the world in unthinkable ways. And I'm in structures where that also contributes to me. And so my life is fed and nurtured by the work I'm doing. I'm fed and nurtured by the work I'm doing, instead of where I was then, where I was incredibly depleted by the work I was doing. And my otherwise life was incredibly depleted by the work I was doing. I didn't have children at the time, but if I did, it certainly would have taxed my relationship with my children if I were working 16 hours in the ER and not around so much, or doing something that wasn't so much in flow for me. So keep that in mind, that some of the things your heart is asking for are actually accessible, even though you don't necessarily see them as available. So just soften around what you see, soften around what you think, soften around what you believe, even just a little bit. There will be unthinkable things that we access this year. And being ahead of the curve like you are, you're going to start to see those things come into your life this year. And it's truly beautiful. So let that ask in your heart's desire, your heart's intention, show you what's actually possible, instead of you trying to show it. No, you can't have that. Let it show you. Thank goodness you listened to your higher self, heal joyfully. You brought awareness to so many people. Yes, that is what happens when we listen at that level. For every single one of us, every single one of us, we will have unthinkable impact when we listen at that level, especially when the mind screams, no, you can't have it. And we allow the activation anyway. So start listening more deeply. Start letting that heart's calling show you little by little more fully, and start choosing more from what you know than from what you think. Thank you guys for being here. So the live workshop will be in a couple of weeks, and actually Kyle Cease is one of the people who will be a contributor about manifestation and allowing manifestation from beyond what you think is possible. He very much has done that in his life. He's a great example of that. He is a friend and someone that I think shares this work in a really powerful way. So that will be on Saturday morning. On Saturday afternoon, Aaron Abke will be sharing about wealth consciousness and the true reality with money, and how you can step into that now and begin living in sovereign freedom now. It is a shift in consciousness. That is the most essential piece. And then on Sunday, my sweetheart, my partner, my husband, Dr. Maria Therese Leon, will be doing a 2-hour piece on conscious relationships, stepping into a more conscious relationship with yourself and letting that expand into all of the relationships in your life. Friday evening is when we begin, and I will be doing a very deep induction that prepares your system to receive everything we will be doing throughout the weekend, to receive it from your highest source, beyond everything that we see, beyond everything that we have experienced, beyond everything created. That is the ultimate universal creator. That is what we want to connect with, not just like playing around with spirituality. So we actually really want to be intentional to go beyond the current manifested reality and connect from universal source. That is where our life really is activated. And so that is what we'll be doing on Friday evening. The event starts at 4 o'clock. It's either 4 or 4:30 Mountain Time. All the information is on the page at drkimd.com/live. And you are welcome to register for this if it resonates with you, and share this with everyone you love. It will definitely be one of the greatest gifts you can share, one of the greatest, most powerful things people can do in their lives to activate their lives right now. You can join me each week here live from MindBody TV. I'll be here in the MindBody community in Facebook, broadcasting live. Also in my YouTube channel, broadcasting live. We do the best to come in to Instagram to broadcast live in here too, because the software we use in StreamYard lets me kind of do it everywhere at once. And I'm at drkimd.com if you would like to subscribe. There's a quiz there on the page to begin your journey of like, what's my next step? Because we have different offerings that can really assist your personal expansion, bring you through some sort of do-it-yourself home study workshop-y pieces that will open your wisdom and open your connection with your creative power. And so you're welcome to take the quiz on that front page. We do have, I want to also mention the Awaken Your Business program. I haven't talked a lot about that, but I know there's a lot of people ready for that in 2023 who have stepped into consciously creating in a business or a healing practice. And you want to be that embodiment in your messaging, in your way of sharing online or social media, and do it from consciousness, because there's so much of that 3D fear-based business stuff that will just sort of short circuit your business and your work and your body if you're trying to create that way. And we're not going to be able to create that way. Like it's not authentic. And so how do we create in business, with money, in an exchange, in a conscious, expansive way? And so that is something we've had available. I will put the link here for that, but I know a lot of people are ready to step into that in 2023. And so I want to make sure that people know that is an offer. So it is drkimd.com/AYB. If you're ready to really expand in what you're doing and the potency of your work. Thank you guys for being here. I'm really excited about the live workshop, especially that induction on Friday night. If you can be there live, that is best, but you'll have the recording as well. So if you watch it on Saturday morning before we go into Saturday's workshop, that will work as well. I am so excited to serve the community and work with you live through that workshop. So drkimd.com/live. Either way, consider moving more fully into activation, because your life will only show up to match the consciousness you're in. So little by little, practicing that opening, practicing that activation, you will see so much different power and manifestation show up. All right. Love you guys. What time does it start? Eastern time. So that is going to be 6 o'clock Eastern that we begin. Yeah. So 6 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Mountain, 3 o'clock PM on Friday Pacific. And you can calculate it in your own time zone to see what time it will be for you. I love you guys. I look forward to seeing you there. I'll see you next week for MindBody TV Live. And next week we have Kyle Cease joining us. So that will be awesome. And you'll hear from him and get to meet him if you don't know him already. I will see you then. Bye, love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you soon.